What in the world is happening with King County real estate? Let's check it out. Here we go, people. This is so exciting. When we last left our heroes, you remember we were considering last month, was 2024 going to outpace 2023 in terms of the number of listings? Was it going to happen? It wasn't obvious. It was leaning that way. We thought it might, and boom, it has. So I'm showing you a historical perspective here first before we do a deep dive, because you can see while it is outpacing 2023, that's a really low bar. Okay. I mean, that was just the worst year in really history of number of listings. So we are better, more listings, more to choose from. Buyers are up, more activity than 2023. Yay. But we're not yet at 2022. We're not yet pre-pandemic level. We're really not anywhere close, right? Let's take a look and see how close we might get and what all this means. We'll just go to 2 years and show you that. Okay. So this is the last 2 years. Green, by the way, is the new listings, inventory, supply. Blue, demand, number of units that's sold. Pretty steady pace at the beginning of this year. That delta between new listings and buyers, really steady, right? Meaning it's getting to be more of a little bit of a balanced market here. Still a seller's market, but it's getting more balanced. And you've got you're already above the number of listings. We had more new listings come on in April than we did any 1 month last year. And there were more buyers in April than there were any month last year. We're not yet at 2022 levels. Is this April? What's this, March? April here was 3,200 new listings. This month was just 2,500 new listings. So really not in the same ballpark. So we're not pre-interest rate hike levels yet, but things are picking up. Now, that picking up from the perspective of someone who sells housing, yeah, that's me. Interesting, but not the deal for everybody. So what does it ultimately mean? Well, ultimately, it means you want to be careful when you're listing, because there's more listings coming on. So you can't price it outrageously. You've got to be really careful on how you price it, because there's more and more competition for you. If you're a buyer, that's nice because there's more and more houses to choose from. And it's not the kind of market it was last year where there was nothing to choose from. But buyers also need to look for bargains where they can find them. Look for people who priced it unrealistically that might have price drops. Well-priced houses are going to go for multiple offers in this market. So every situation is unique, and you want to make sure that you're not basing your actions on some generalization, what the market's doing in general, what your uncle told you about the market in Arizona, any of that stuff. Every neighborhood is different. Every block is distinct. Your situation is unique, and you want to make sure that you've got someone working with you every step of the way to make the most rational choice. I'm happy to help with that when it gets there. Right now, it's looking like 2024 is going to be an easier year for both buyers and sellers than 2023 was. Sorry, it's going to be easier for buyers, and it's going to be dicey, not dicey for sellers, but certainly not pre-pandemic, like, hey, everything sells right away. You're going to need to be careful with the pricing if this keeps up. And we'll see what happens in May, but this is a good sign for the overall activity in the market. All right. Questions? What do you need? That's what I'm here for. Aaron Hendon with Christine and Company over at eXp Realty. Talk to you later. Hey, what in the world is happening with Pierce County real estate? Mind-blowing stuff is what's happening. You ready? Here we go. All right, here we are. Here's what's happening. You've got green is the supply, new listings that came to market. Blue is the demand, number of homes that went off the market any given month last 2 years. When we last left this graph last month, we weren't sure if we were going to start to get over 2023 numbers. Okay. And 2023, by the way, is the lowest bar you can imagine. In fact, the lowest sales in basically the history of the multiple listing service in this area. So not a high bar to clear, but it looks like we're clearing it. Okay. So this April, we had 1,300 homes more or less. And last April, 900 homes. So nice. Nice. That's 20% jump. Nice. Take that. Okay. That's more listings, easier for buyers, a little bit more difficult for sellers. Now, it's not a radical difference in terms of you're still, that gap is the largest it's been. Number of new listings compared to the number of buyers. That's how you know the heat of a market is how many things could people buy and how many people are looking to buy them. That number is getting better for buyers. We'll see how this continues. This is just barely over the peak of last year, but that does bode well for buyers that there'll be more inventory. People are loosening up. Next couple of months is usually the highest number of listings, and we'll see how this pans out. It does mean sellers need to be careful how they price. They can't expect to get multiple offers over asking if they price it like a dummy. They need to be careful, and buyers should find well-priced houses competitive. A well-priced house is still going to sell quickly because there's just not a huge delta. There's not a lot of excess inventory. While there's more transactions than last year, the number of buyers to sellers is still pretty tight. So you got to be careful in your setting your expectations. The important thing to know, take away, is everyone's case is different. Everyone has a different set of circumstances. Every neighborhood's different. Every block's different. Don't go off generalizations. Get a local expert. I know a guy, and use them. Check it out. Make sure that what you're doing makes sense given what you're dealing with, what you want, your expectations, all that. That's what I'm here for. Let me know what questions you got. Aaron Hendon with Christine & Company over at eXp Realty. I'll talk to you later. Peace out. Hey, what in the world's happening with Snohomish County real estate? Well, let's check it out. This should be interesting. Okay, so couple things. Here's what you got. You got green is the supply, number of new listings that came to market. Blue is the demand, number of homes that sold. Last 2 years in Snohomish. When we looked at this last month, we weren't sure if we were on a trend to go over last year, and we are clearly on that trend. Our April beats any of the, this was June, 969. 966, just missed the peak of last year, but we're only in April. So that does bode well. That does make it look like there's going to be more and more listings coming on. That ultimately means it's easier for buyers. There'll be more to choose from. And you got more of a chance as a buyer to find someone who priced it like it was 2021, and you can get a bargain because they're not going to get what they could get in 2021. So this is going to have the effect of slowing down price appreciation in Snohomish and give buyers more choices. It doesn't mean it's a buyer's market. It doesn't mean you have your choice of anything. It just means it's better than last year. And last year was the lowest possible bar, literally the lowest bar to hurdle. So it's not like some major thing. It's nice. Okay. Buyers should have more to choose from. Sellers need to be careful about how they price their house, but they should still get it sold relatively quickly because the number of buyers to the number of sellers is pretty steady. Okay. There's not a lot of excess inventory. There's just more inventory than last year. And, every case is different. Every person's situation is unique. If you have questions about yours, and you should, because it's very hard to go off generalizations as to what to do, let me know. That's what I'm here for. Aaron Hendon with Christine & Company over at eXp Realty. Talk to you next month. Hey, what in the world is happening with Kitsap County real estate? Well, it is time to check it out. Share screen. Let's look. All right. Supply and demand. Green is the supply, the number of new listings that came to market. Blue is the demand, number of homes that went off market. What do we see? Well, we see we have beat last year already in terms of number of new listings. There are more new listings last month than any single month last year. It's very much like King County and certainly close to Pierce and Snohomish that we have seen more and more things coming to market. It's important to know last year was a historically crap year for number of listings, number of transactions, historically low. This is beating that bar, but that's a relatively low bar to beat. So what this does mean, though, is given there's this many more sellers than buyers, this many more new houses came on. That's the biggest delta, the difference between 489 and 380, so 110. There have been 110 more listings since last year and this month here, right? So, when there's more supply than there is demand, prices tend to stagnate or go down. You're beginning to get that range in Kitsap. Now, Kitsap's a really diverse county. It's half of Bainbridge and it's all the way out in Silverdale and Paulsboro. There's lots of different aspects to that. So every neighborhood is different, much less just different sides of the peninsula. So you got to take this with a grain of salt, or as a 10,000-foot overview, which is buyers have more to choose from in general. There'll be likely between the interest rates and the amount of inventory, a cap on what sellers can get for their property right now. Sellers need to price accordingly, and buyers should jump on anything that's well priced, because the chances are things that are well priced are going to sell quickly and for multiple offers, because there's still enough buying demand. And it's pent up because last year was such a dull, hard year for people. So let's take a look and see what happens next month. But right now, buyers are beginning to get a little bit more power. Sellers need to be a little bit more careful. You got questions about your situation? Let me know. That's what I'm here for. Aaron Hendon at Christine Company over at eXp Realty. Peace out. See you next month. What in the world is happening with Vashon real estate? Hey, Gavalt, let's check it out. This is why I love living on the island. Are you ready? Let's go. Here we go. This is the supply and demand graph for Vashon Island, meaning green is the supply, the number of new listings. Blue is the demand, the number of homes that's sold. This is wild to me. If you watched any of the other videos of the 4 counties surrounding us, including King County, which Vashon is theoretically a part of, they were radically different than this. Vashon is weird. Every other county as a whole, as an aggregate, had more listings than 2023, than the highest point in 2023. Last month was better than last year in every county, except when you break it down. And this is what I mean when I say that every neighborhood's different. You could look at the King County update and think, well, that's how King County is. Vashon's in King County. Let's go. And that's not the case. There were less listings last month than practically any month. 8 of the months last year had more listings than April of this year, which is wild. It's so disparate compared to the other counties in the area. So it is really important that you take every case as unique, meaning you as a buyer or you as a seller really need to look at the exact area you're buying or selling in and see what's happening there, because this is low choice, not a lot of new listings to choose from, fairly low buyer demand. There's not, this is leveled off. It's the exact same month to month, right? And it's lower than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, half of last year. It's less demand than half of last year. And last year was the worst year on record in the area. So this is a really choppy market on Vashon right now. There's just not enough inventory to really be able to predict anything. And I hate that, but you just really couldn't predict anything. Next month could easily be 25 listings. Who knows? Okay. So the best advice I have for people on Vashon is tread carefully. Look at your situation, look at your needs, right? Do you need to get a certain price for a house? Do you need to get a house at a certain price? Do you need to get out of here as quickly as possible? Lots of different needs, and you need to dance with that situation and fully cognizant of Vashon is weird. If you've got questions about your situation, let me know. I'm here to help. Aaron Hendon with Christine Company at eXp. Peace out, people. See you next month.